Yeah. All right.
Hey.
We are live. Welcome, everyone. All right, let's get this going. Oh, make sure we got our name tag showing first. Our name tag. All right, I'll just go around. Everybody, what's up? My name is Jordan. I'm the videographer for Samcart. We have our creative team. Big Daddy Scott is out of the building, so the kids are going to play. The inmates are running the asylum. All right, we got at the bottom down here, we got Aurelio. He is our copywriter, our content writer. All words flow through him. We have our lead designer, Marie, down at the bottom left. Say hi, Marie.
Hi.
And we have our marketing manager keeping the train on the tracks, the boat afloat, Alex.
Hello.
All right, what is up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good.
Let me get my background music working right. What are we feeling? We're feeling the chill music today?
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, Michigan in the house. What's up, Michigan?
Yeah, where is everybody from? Let's put it in the chat. We got hi from the UK. We got Texas. I'm in Tyson's Corner, Virginia right now. Where is everybody else from?
I'm in
On the
Austin,
Samcart.
Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas.
Austin, Baltimore, Maryland.
All right.
Maryland. We got Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, so today's episode on this live stream, we're not going to be doing some, not so much like business strategy talk or talking about one-click upsells or order bumps. Today we're going to talk about strictly the creative design, headlines, video, content, photos, making your Samcart page look pretty. So that's what our questions are going to be focused on today. So drop them in the chat. We're here to answer them. We're going to be here for about 30 or so minutes. Yeah. And if you're watching this right now on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to Samcart. Let's see. What kind of questions do we have coming in? Anybody
we have
there?
we have somebody from Yemen.
Whoa.
Wow. That's
What time
awesome.
is it there? It's like 8 hours ahead of us.
Expat Britain, Boston. I think we have our first question.
First question. Let's see. Let's cue it up. Where can I
Want me to read it
go?
out loud?
Yeah. Bring it up for it.
Where can I go to get help with creating Facebook ads?
Gotcha. Okay. So let's assume they're not a beginner level. Marie, you want to take this one for designing images, ads? If I don't have if I'm not that experienced, where should I go?
Creating Facebook ads. I mean, I think a great place to start is go on Facebook. Look at ads that are already there. Try to get inspiration. There's a whole bunch of websites where I go to get inspiration. I love Behance, I like Dribble, but really just do some Google searches and see what's out there.
Sweet.
And Braided Lives, it's not technically a creative question, but feel free to just to throw them out there, because Facebook ads does involve some form of creativity. A lot of thought goes into the wording, from the copywriting to the design, because you have to stand out amidst that whole feed. So there's definitely some creative elements to running Facebook ads. So definitely don't feel bad for that.
And I'll add one last thing. Because you're right, Aurelia, it's the title, it's the headline, it's the call to action, it's the image, or it's the video. And the frustrating part about when you're running Facebook ads is you sometimes don't know what to swap out or what to change. A great tool you could use is something like Canva, which is free, mostly free. And that way you can kind of find some stock images, find some nice graphics, find some nice fonts, put that all together. And when you're running Facebook ads, you want to probably have 3 to 5. I mean, we run how many different versions of creatives do we run on our Facebook ads? It's just
we're constantly testing. We are swapping out everything. So we might have 3 versions of the ads, the image or the video themselves, and then we'll rotate in different copy with those different pairings. We have a different account for beginners or for people who are just getting started with Facebook ads. You don't need that many variations. Just test it out. Jump in. Scott and I did a Facebook Live a couple of months ago on running Facebook ads, and then the Samcart YouTube channel has tons of different resources for building your ads, structuring your account, that sort of thing. So definitely dig in there.
All right, let's see. What else do we got? All right, so folks, we're asking creative questions: how to create video, how to create images, graphics, how to write your headlines better, how to do better copywriting. So any kind of questions about Samcart, we're going to hold off. Any kind of support questions, we're going to hold off on this episode. So let's see what we got. Or do we have a question from our survey, from our email we could throw up? Let's see.
We do. We have been sending out some surveys just to get some questions for this live, for this one and for others. So I'm going to pick one from the queue. How do I make sure that my page design is connecting with my buyers?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a loaded one. We will pass to Marie, and then Aurelia, you can chime in with any copy notes.
All right. Well, I guess first thing you need to know is, do you know who your buyers are? I think that that's a step that often gets missed. So definitely making sure that you've figured out who your buyer personas are. I recommend like 1 to 3 buyer personas, people that you are really trying to target, and then getting lots and lots of feedback. You can go to friends, you can go to family, hopefully people that kind of fit into those buyer personas, and get that honest feedback so you can restructure your page.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I might add, go to where you think that they might be hanging out. For example, if you have a product or service that's geared towards, young parents, go to Facebook groups for those kind of people and see what they're talking about, what questions they're asking. And, I think it's a good way to connect with people, but also you want to make sure that your copy is evoking a certain emotion. We're writing to get that reaction out of people, whether if it's to buy something, subscribe, whatever it is that you want to do. So you want to make sure that the language that you're using, it brings some passion into the space. But my first thing would be just go where they are and see what questions they're asking.
When you say like connecting emotionally, Aurelio, is it like, when you read this, or like when you write this, are you reading it out loud to yourself? Are you like doing like a tape recorder, and like hearing it back? Are you like, how do you kind of, if you're just kind of like alone in your room writing your copy, how do you kind of get that direct feedback, or like how do you look at it analytically, or like have a cold perspective from it?
Yeah, one thing I like about writing this kind of stuff is that you can kind of write how you talk. Like, it doesn't have to sound like a history paper. But I definitely read out loud. I reread and reread over and over again. And, I kind of ask myself, like, how do I feel? How do I think this would make somebody else feel? And I try to put myself in the shoes of that buyer persona. So I try to mimic, it could be a 30-year-old woman. I'll try my best to do that. But if I think that this is something that may resonate with this person, then I'll throw it out there. What's great is that whatever you write is not necessarily etched in stone. You can always go back and make edits, retweet, whether if it's a Facebook ad or a blog post or a about me section or whatever. So I'm not afraid with letting things go and bringing it back in if I need to.
That's it. All right.
And again, sorry to cut you off, but again, if you have friends and family that you can rely on, have them check it out and see what they think.
All right, I want to bring up this question from Andrew Winterbottom. That's got to be a fake name. Come on. Hey guys, my question is, how important is it to be seen on videos when promoting your content? Now I'm assuming he means like showing up, like being, putting your face on camera. It's kind of 50-50. I mean, I've taken huge courses that I've, paid $100 for a course, and you never see their face at all. You go through the whole thing. I mean, and it's like you're maybe there's got to be some level of production value. I'm going into this, and you just hear a voiceover, you just see a slideshow. When you're promoting your content, the strategy is about, or asking yourself, what is your strategy? Do you want people to know you personally? Do you want people to know the content more? Do they want to be more in tune with the brand that you're creating? So you kind of leave it up to, do some soul searching on that. If you want to show up on camera, if you're comfortable, I say yes, get on camera. Like we all need to build our personal brands. I'm biased in that. So yeah, I'm going to say, how important is it? I say it's very important. What do you guys think? You guys aren't always on camera. I'm kind of throwing you guys on camera now. Like, is this, would you recommend this?
I would say, statistically, from an ads standpoint, ads with faces usually perform better. It doesn't necessarily have to be your face. There are a lot of options out there if you prefer to stay out of the spotlight. But I will say that any hesitation for you to be on camera, whether that's for your ads or for courses, it shouldn't be a blocker to get started. A lot of people have plenty of success without being on camera. And if that's not something you want to do right away, that is the next level for you then. After you're trying to optimize your course or optimize your ad campaigns, there's room to move up. So that's my thought on that.
And I think we tend to want to be perfectionists and think that like our stuff has to look like Jordan's stuff. Like Jordan's a pro, and I'm low key jealous. But I think in today's world, you got a decent phone. I don't think people look down on people who are doing this, especially if it's for something quick like an ad or something like that. I think if Gary Vaynerchuk can go live from his phone, I think you can too. And I'll say that I think maybe 90, not 90, but a good 80% of people who are on TV are using teleprompters, and I think that they're a lifesaver for a lot of people. And I'm pro teleprompter, and just do it. It's a good investment.
No, at least a third of the videos that we make, I will tell Scott, don't sit in front of the professional camera. Like, get your phone out. Like, go out into the Sam Card gym. We have a basketball gym at the Sam Card office, and I say go out there where it's bad audio and just hold the camera up and just record this quick intro or record this ad. Like, low production value oftentimes works, and it's kind of confusing, but it works.
I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Jordan, about your personal brand. If your personal brand is to be a little bit more just pull out your phone and make a video, then, own it. I don't know. I might be in the minority on this one. I've seen some really great YouTube channels where you don't see their face at all. You see just their hands, or they're just doing slideshows, but the information is so good that I keep watching. So I think more important than having your face on the screen is what you're teaching,
I would agree. All right, let's see. Oh, we have Bob here. Bob is in the chat from the Course Creation Channel. He's an alumni. He's asking or suggesting if we can do a one-pager. We talked about this prepping for the show. We should do a one-page audit. We should do a Sam Card page audit. We're going to do that next time, but I think that would be super helpful for everybody. Oh yeah, but Bob even says but don't pick me. Of course, Bob. All right.
All right, Bob, you're on our list.
Yep. Let's see. All right. So again, folks, drop your questions. Anything about content creation, anything about creating videos, creating photos, graphics, logos, branding. What is a brand? Your brand strategy. We're talking about all that stuff today. So drop your questions in the chat, and we will get to them one by one.
I just pulled one up from our survey, and that is, how do I get into writing more content? Did we cover this one yet?
Not yet.
I have an easy answer for this, and it's to write more content. It's to write and be just not afraid. Don't overthink it. If you want, jot down some. Well, first of all, what kind of content are you talking about? You talking about long blog posts, Instagram posts. It's all writing. It's all writing, whether it's one sentence or 1,000. Just write. Be sloppy. It's okay. Have this, just a stream of consciousness, and don't worry about the commas or the semicolons. That's what keeps me up at night. But for you, just write, and get better. That's how it's like riding a bicycle. You got to do it, and you're gonna fall, and you're gonna scrape your knees, and all. That's fine. That you'll be doing flips on the BMX in no time.
Aurelio, have you gotten into morning pages? I think it's like Julia Cameron's morning pages.
I have not.
It's like this. It's this writing technique. I read the book. You only need to read the first chapter to understand it, but it's every morning for like 20. The first thing you do, 20 minutes, just write everything. Like complain, moan about everything. Write how it's cold, I'm hot, I'm tired. I'm just get it all out. But you write for 20 minutes straight, and it just kind of takes that, like you said, that kind of judgmental voice out of your head. Because you got everything on the page, it's out of the way, and then after the 20 minutes, that's when you can start, your serious writing.
Very cool. I've heard of like similar stuff. People who like to journal in the morning and stuff like that. Apparently, a lot of people, their brain is firing off a little bit more in the morning. It almost feels like a mental workout. Like, how people wake up and you work out, and you get that workout, and then the rest of your day kind of goes downhill. That's kind of what it feels like, or what it sounds like. That might be. I might give that a try.
Yep.
I might be writing for 3 hours though, so I'm definitely need to have a timer on the side.
All right, let's see. What else?
Aurelio, we have another one from our survey that I'm curious to hear your answer is, how do I create the perfect headline for a page? Do you kind of have a formula you follow, or is there, are you going with gut? What's your process like?
Ooh, I don't think I have a process. I'll probably just go with gut. And I don't know if there's a perfect headline, but I will say what is eye popping. Like if you look at our blogs or our YouTube, we recently put up a video and a blog post for a lady named Kara Stein, and she put in 2 weeks into her Sam Cart page, and she calls it like a relaxed 2 weeks. She wasn't going super hard. Relaxed 2 weeks, and it turned into $180,000 over, I think, like a span of a year or something like that. So when I see 2 weeks and 180,000, that sounds pretty perfect to me. So I'm just like, okay, these look really shiny. Let me put these together and make it relevant to whoever the audience is. So just what stands out, what's shiny, and try to keep it short.
What's like for like a headline? Is it? I know like is a big mistake to write the name of the course. Like when we were talking about in the course creation challenge, it's like it's tempting just to put the headline, just put the name of your course as the headline on the front of your page. Is that like, why does that not work in some cases?
I think just having the name of the course, depending on how creative your name is, it might not show the benefit. Like for some people, it's like how to write a book and how my book made 180 grand in 12 months. Like kind of give me a little bit more. Like give me the sandwich, but put a little cheese on it, a little mayo, make it a little bit sexier, if that makes any sense. Because there's a bunch of people who have their course that has a similar title. They're all the same sandwich. What's your differentiator?
Awesome. All right, folks. Let's see. What else do we have? Make sure. Oh, if you're watching this right now on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. Hit that red button down below. Somebody point for me. Down below on the Sam Cart page on the YouTube channel. Subscribe because we're going to do more live streams like this every single week. What are we doing, Alex? We've been doing Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern
Tuesday
time.
At 4 p.m. Yep. So we'll send reminders. And occasionally we'll send out surveys to get just some feedback from the audience, find out, what our next topic should be. But we'll keep it varied and fun, and you'll see the creative team again. You'll see Scott again, so it'll be fun.
Okay, I want to serve this question up to Marie. What do I need to build my brand? Everybody gets excited about the logos and all that stuff, but like, what actually goes into a brand? I'm like, I just started my course. I just started my Sam Cart page. I have a new product, but like, at this point, it's just like Arial font, black and white text. Like, what do I do? How do I jazz it up?
Oh gosh, I feel like this could be like a whole other conversation just by itself. But I mean, the main thing is, a brand is kind of a reflection of you ultimately. So I think it'd be good to just do some soul searching, like figure out what is my brand? What is my, Aurelio, like you were saying, what is my conversation style when you're writing content? What colors am I drawn to? Or more importantly, what colors are your buyers drawn to? What fonts fit your conversation style? There's so much that you can do. If you want to do your own research, look up design systems or brand systems, and it kind of gives you a template of all the different things that go into a brand.
Why do you think people get caught up on the logo issue? Or like, does it really matter? Or like, you really have to have a logo, or like you have to pay someone $2,000, $5,000 for a logo?
A logo is kind of important. It's an extension of your brand. Some brands do it really well, where you see it and you immediately know what brand it is. And that's when you get really, really, really popular. But yeah, it's kind of it's that first graphic. We're visual creatures. We love pictures. So it's kind of that first little impression of who you are. It's kind of a way to show off your personality.
So give me the kind of grocery list. Like, I'm building my brand. Do I start with the logo? Do I start with fonts? Do I start with colors? Building my palette first.
Right. I think that, colors, type, is a great place to start. You can just take out a notebook and start sketching things that you think connect to your product or to your brand. And you can start to logo build that way. Or, I mean, if you're at a total loss, go and get some design help. I think that that's totally fine too. Totally acceptable.
Yeah, if you're using the Papyrus font in Microsoft Word, it's time to jump on Fiverr. Go to Fiverr. Get some help.
Papyrus, Times New Roman, Comic Sans. don't even go there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm always like, whenever I open up a Sandcart page and like it asks you what font to choose, and there's just like this million list of fonts. Like, where do we go? What fonts do we like? Because Sandcart's connected to Google Fonts, so you could just go over to what is it, like fonts.google.com or something like that, and choose a font there. Like, is it like maybe a walkthrough? Like, okay, so there's serif, there's sans serif, there's the formal versus informal versus the big and loud letters. Like, how important is that it kind of connects with my brand, or like what does that mean to like connect with my brand? Like the font matches what I'm selling.
Yeah, I think it all kind of it comes down to your tone. If you've got a very formal tone, if you have a product that's for professionals, you might want to look into some of those more professional looking fonts, maybe a nice bold serif headline font. Actually, Google Fonts is a great place to start, because if you go and you find a font that you like and you click on it, they actually have little suggestions for fonts that pair really nicely together with it. So I think that that's a great tool to use.
I'm going right now. All right, walk me through. So let's choose our font live on camera.
Sure.
Let's see if I get, is that wide enough for everybody? All right, so if I'm going into Google Fonts and I'm going to translate some of this into Sam, am I looking for, or like, where do you tend to go? Do you just kind of start with categories?
I tend to stick with sans serif, or that's where I start, at least for my body copy, just because it's easier to read on screen. Open Sans is a very popular choice. We see that everywhere.
Okay. So, all right. So sans serif to me just kind of means like it doesn't have like the fancy tops and hats and flares.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the little, I don't know, the serifs, like the little things that are like the feet and stuff. Yeah.
So if I go with, I mean, it's kind of listed by popularity. Like, is it bad to choose a very popular font, or is it better to, can I like go out there and be like, I'm trying to be cool and unique. Like, I want to choose like a font that no one's ever heard of.
You can definitely just do you. Just go and have fun with it and experiment. I will tell you that the most popular fonts are probably popular for a reason. They're going to be the ones that pair nicely with more headline fonts. They're going to be the ones that are most legible. So totally your preference.
Okay. So like my favorite font at this time is Poppins. I think that's getting pretty popular. Is it? And then it's like, do I just go with every single font, or like how many fonts do I put onto my Sandcart page when I'm like trying to combine it all? Do I like add in does bold and italics count as a font, or is it just keep it regular, keep it, thin or whatever? Don't try to add all these variations. Like, how do you kind of see when you're like choosing your fonts?
So my rule of thumb is you either stick with one or two main fonts. If you start to do more than that, your brand starts to fall apart just a little bit, because there's not as much consistency. I think consistency is kind of key. As far as font weights, if you want to do 2 or 3 different weights with italics don't count, so 2 or 3 different weights, I think that that's perfectly acceptable. You'll want to go bold if it's something that you really want standing out on your page. I would just recommend, with these, don't go too light. I know some of these font weights have like thin hairline. That's hard to read. Like, I'm back here and it's really hard for me to read without squinting. Yeah, so try to stick to more like the middle.
Yeah, and I always say, like, folks, if you can't pass the squint test, then your customers can't read this kind of font. So if they got to squint and read, then like this is at 15 points or 15 pixels. So your font's typically 16 to 18 for the body. So like just kind of getting an idea like how this looks on the page. And then you said that Google has pairings as well.
They,
So I can say like what goes with Poppins
yeah, I'm not seeing it
right down at the
on
bottom.
this
Oh,
view.
there we go.
There it is. There it is.
Okay. So like Open Sans or like Laura. Let's try Laura. I think that's a serif.
Yeah, Laura's a serif. That would make
Okay.
a great headline font to pair with this.
So like, is regular okay, or do I do kind of a bold regular, like just adding some contrast a little bit?
Yeah, again, it's up to you. I think that looks nice. I think regular looks nice too.
Maybe good then. Okay. Yeah. So it's all just kind of playing with it. It's kind
Mhm.
of like experimenting. Awesome. Sweet. All right. So what other questions we have, Alex? What's been coming in? What's everyone saying in the chat?
So we've got a few comments. Nikki says that her brand colors are neon because her audience is drawn to it. I love that. I too am drawn to neon. But yeah, I mean, one of the questions we hear a lot on the creative services team is, when do I freelance, or when do I ask somebody to help me build my page, whether that's Samcart or your website or whatever it looks like. And there's probably not a perfect answer to that. It's really opinion based, and how are you feeling? But I don't know. I mean, Marie, Aurelio, Jordan, do you guys have points in your process where you feel like, okay, this is where I need help, or you kind of anticipated moving ahead? What does it look like?
I'm going to start by saying it's like, I don't want to say the Gary Vee answer, but like it starts with a little bit of self-awareness, or knowing what you're capable of. Like if you think you can handle creating a video project and making a video trailer for your Samcart page, go for it. But if you have, you have no photo skills or no Photoshop skills, or you can't, writing is not the most strongest suit of you, then like, yeah, maybe consider freelancing, maybe consider outsourcing, looking. And then, but then that's always like, it's always easy to say like, just outsource it, but then it's like, okay, that's money, that's time. Now you become a manager of this creative person. Yeah, so I'll just start by saying it takes a little bit of self-awareness of like knowing what I can do and knowing what I can't do or probably shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw someone in the chat a little bit earlier say that they know what doesn't look good, but then they have trouble figuring out what does look good instead. I think that is a great time to bring in a freelancer, someone who has years of experience doing this kind of thing, to kind of give you that nudge or that opinion or create something for you.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to Facebook, because I'm a part of some other groups, and some people, they'll put up their design, and this, for example, there's a Canva group. Some people say, hey, I designed this thumbnail, or I did this artwork for my podcast. What do you think? And you'll get the feedback right there, like instantly. Hey, move this over here, make this font bold, take this picture out. So it's really a quick way to get some feedback right away. And if you think you can make those changes, and go for it. And if you're like, you know what, I don't really know how to do that, then maybe that's when you reach out for some help. And so you might find some help right in that comment section.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there's different levels of help that you might need. If you're a Samcart customer, you have access to our customer only group where you can solicit that feedback, which has been very helpful for a lot of people. And then also Samcart, we just recently partnered with Fiverr officially. So we now have a storefront on Fiverr.com. We'll drop the link to that page in the comments, and then also keep an eye on your inboxes, because we'll be sending some more formal notifications about it in the coming weeks. But essentially, you can now go to Fiverr to get help building your Samcart page, to get help with copywriting on your Samcart page. So if you're a current customer, it's a great opportunity if that's a blocker. If you're thinking about Samcart but worried about the creative aspect of it, there's an additional resource for you where you can, honestly pass it off to somebody else, and they can make your page beautiful for you. So we're really excited about that. Yep. And we just dropped the link in the chat.
Yep.
So check it out.
And I'll add one more thing with freelancers. It's always varying degree of when you're hiring a freelancer, because you can do the Home Depot model with them, where they can help you do it, but they can help. So you can have someone that consults with you, or have a graphic designer or a video person like talk with you, walk you through the process, but then you go and do it and do all the work yourself. or you can just say, I want this totally hands off. I want to hand this project completely off to you. I trust you. Make it happen. So there's kind of, you don't always have to go all the way to the deep end to say like, I'm going to totally outsource this where it's out of my control, out of my hands completely. Let's see. So we're running up at 35 minutes. You want to do last call, Alex, for questions?
Sure. So if you have any final questions, if we didn't get to your question today's call, maybe it wasn't on topic, we'll definitely make sure that you get the help you need after this. We'll pass your information along to the support team if you're a customer, if not, the sales team. All right. So let's see. Looking through our survey. Last call. Oh, we're not going to take another question. That's the last call. So
no. Oh yeah. Anybody in the chat, this is your last chance to get your questions. Yeah, let's see. We got one. What would you want to do? Andrew's question right here.
Sure.
Let's see.
Mr. Winterbottom. I'm never going to forget that.
Winterbottom's getting 2 for 1 special tonight. What would you consider to be too long or too short for a promo video ad? Is there a kind of formula that can be applied to videos to keep someone's attention? Yes, there is a formula. We go through it in the video sales letter, I believe. There's I think it's the same course that we have if you're logged in. But there is sort of a formula, but the formula, once you learn it, you can break it. You can learn to like expand it and contract it. And I would say the formula being, the simple question is like, how much time? Like, should it be a 5-minute video, 30-second video, 1-minute video? Like, what's going to keep my audience's attention? We make videos that are sales videos that are 16 minutes long that say like, come on, sign up for this, sign up for Samcarp. And they crush on Facebook. They crush on all of our advertising. But then sometimes we'll make something for Instagram that will be 15 seconds only, and it'll do really well. So it's really hard to tell. Like, you can't just look at a video and say like, okay, this is 8 minutes, so that means it's better than a 4-minute video. It's all like, how good is your hook? Like, in the first 10 seconds of the video, are you capturing your audience's attention? Are you like selling the message? Are you being clear about what your message is? Is what you're saying, going back to copywriting, like, is the script talking? Like, if you're narrating this or talking to camera, like, are you directly talking to your customers, speaking their language, getting them excited? Or are you just like trying to be cool and like talk like at this higher elevated level where it's, you're trying to like use cool vocabulary to show off how much you know. And it's like, do you have exciting music? Do you need exciting music? Sometimes you could just make a 30-minute video where you explain a concept in depth, and that could be like, wow, this guy knows exactly what they're talking about. I'm going to sign up for this person's course because they're clearly an expert. They have deep knowledge about this. So once I'm inside this course, then, it's a no-brainer. So there's not too much. I wouldn't say there's like too long or too short of a video, because it all varies on the content. It all varies on like what your message is, how much, and even the sales process. If this is $1,000, $4,000 course that someone's buying, or a product that someone's buying, you might need to explain it a little bit more. But if it's a $10 product, if it's a $20 product, then maybe you can just have a quick 30-second guy drinking a water bottle, and cool, I'll buy that water bottle. Like, it doesn't. There's nothing really else to explain. So just gonna be conscious of what you're selling, what your message is, and who your audience is. Sweet. Cool. Any other final thoughts, guys, before we wrap up? This is our creative people. We'll have to do this at least once a month, I'm feeling.
Man, this is fun. I think there were a few questions that I think might be better asked to Facebook, or they might want to reach out to our support team. They're not really creative questions, so sorry if we weren't able to help you in that area. But thank you for hopping on, and shout out to Cypress in the house.
Yeah, wow. All right, so yeah, again, if you need help with support, need help with your pages, or some kind of technical issue, go over to help.samcart.com. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Samcart if you're on YouTube watching this right now, or if you're on Facebook, be sure to follow us so you can see more of our lovely faces. We're going to end it here. Everyone say goodbye, wave to the camera. We love you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.
Hey.